Right, I'm here with Lew, and he's going to give us a bit of information about this upcoming season, the 18-19 Premier League season. So, Lew, what do you think?
Good afternoon, welcome to Old Trafford for the first game of the season, Manchester United versus Leicester City. Just looking back over the summer and from the World Cup up to now, and of course the situation with signings. Now, at the end of the season, straight away we were diving in and we got Fred, who was a Manchester City target, and he's going to play in midfield alongside Matic and Pogba when they both return. Matic, of course, is injured at the moment. Pogba, we're not sure whether he's match fit or maybe on the bench for tonight's game. So that could be quite a strong and reliable midfield that we can really drive on with Sanchez and Lukaku, of course, and one other. I'm not sure who that's going to be, whether it's going to be Lingard or Rashford or Martial ahead of them. We've got a problem, or it appears, according to Mourinho, we've got a problem in the number of signings that we made over the summer. We signed, in addition to Fred, we signed Diego Dalot. He's not fit at the moment. He's apparently a 19-year-old fullback who shows great promise, but he's going to have to challenge people like Luke Shaw, Ashley Young, and Antonio Valencia, and even Darmian. So he may not be ready for some weeks yet, if not months. So that's one to look out for in the future. We also bought Lee Grant as a goalkeeper backup. He's 34. Bit of a surprise signing, that one. He's played quite a few games in the build-up, and we'll have to just see whether he's a good backup to Romero, of course, David De Gea. But Mourinho has expressed a lot of disappointment over Woodward's inability to add to those signings, and rumour has it that he was trying to offload Anthony Martial and certainly Marcus Rojo to Everton. That one was really one that was almost set to go, but we didn't sign any of our targets. We were, of course, Harry Maguire, who's playing tonight, Boateng from Bayern Munich, and Yamini, I think his name was, from the Colombian guy who went eventually to Everton. And of course the other one that was really top of the list was Toby Alderweireld, the Tottenham guy, again 29, a little bit old, on his last season of the contract, so he was expected to come really, but we offered, I think, up to around about 40 million. Tottenham wanted 50 million, but his buyout clause apparently is about 25 million, so it seemed a bit of a no-brainer why Spurs didn't let him go. But they themselves have been totally inactive in the transfer market and have not got anybody in the summer. The only team in the Premier League not to have done so. I mean, even City signed Mahrez, of course, will be absent tonight, from Leicester City. So new signings take a bit of time to bed. The World Cup was pretty good for quite a number of players. Pogba, of course, in particular, who scored for France and winning the trophy in the final as well. Whether he's fit and whether his mindset is right, because again we hear a lot of rumours that he will be looking to move on in the not too distant future, maybe to Barcelona. In fact, almost certainly to Barcelona. His agent was really pushing this deal, so we're led to believe, but nevertheless it didn't go through. We have Pogba, we have him available, he's fit. Whether he plays tonight, I don't know. Season as a whole, it's most difficult to see how we can bridge a 19-point gap with Manchester City. They've got strengthened with, as I say, Mahrez. They've got a lot of top-class players there. Can put out virtually two full teams at the moment. The other one, of course, which makes it even worse for us, is Liverpool. They've signed a new goalkeeper, one or two other players. They were very strong at the end of the season. They're most people's top challenges for Manchester City, which pushes us down to third or even lower. We've got to look at Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal. Chelsea and Arsenal, of course, have new managers, and that normally gives a spring in the step to the whole team, the squad as a whole. But we look at our squad and think how we're going to do this season based on the fact that we came second. We put in quite a number of good, decent performances last season, although we're lacking when it came, ironic enough, to playing the three promoted teams from the season before. We couldn't have had a worse record in some respects by losing to all three of them, and the last one being Brighton towards the end of the season, but it didn't affect our chances at the end in finishing second. The European campaign as well, of course, will be an interesting thing to do, to see how we progress with there. Seville were the people who, or the team I should say, that put us out at the last 16 stage, and we never got beyond that, which was a bitter disappointment when we drew 0-0 there. We lost at home here and 2-1 with a very poor performance, one of the worst of the season, has to be said, and questionable tactics from Mourinho in that game, where he played Fellaini in midfield and really was not up to the task on the night. So where the goals are going to come from is another matter, because if Lukaku is injured or has a bad spell, and he didn't miss out on scoring on 10 successive games, I think it was last season, we really struggled during that period, and the same would happen again, presumably, unless we can get Rashford and Martial to pull through and do the stuff in his absence, or his inability to sort of take things on. Now, Rashford has never been a big goal scorer, but Martial is potentially a really top player. The problem there is, again, he was looking to move. Rumour has it, as I say, that Mourinho has been trying to offload him to get finances in for other players, but that's never been properly confirmed. Mourinho himself, of course, is the problem there. He's on his third season, and we know often what happens with it. He seems to implode if things are going badly, I should say, and really be, looking around everybody to blame everybody, of course, apart from himself. What his relationship is with Woodward and the board is also under scrutiny now, as Woodward has appeared again to have failed to get in extra signings in the last couple of weeks of the season, having done a lot of work very early on. So where we are going to finish up this season is difficult. I mean, at the moment I'm looking to see we finish in a Champions League position, possibly third or even fourth, bearing in mind Liverpool's perceived strength now. But we have to finish above, obviously, at least two of the others, including Arsenal and Tottenham, to make sure we finish in the Champions League slot. But it's going to be a hard season. Hopefully we'll do better in Europe. Maybe again progressing one of the cup competitions, disappointing as it was to lose in the final to Chelsea. We need to keep that in mind as well, and maybe play a stronger team in the League Cup to make sure that we can get some sort of silverware. But as for going all out and winning the Premiership, let's get off to the first game tonight with Leicester, get off with a good start and see what we can manage from there. All the best for the season.
Thanks, Lew.